Welcome to this episode of Disney World with Jolly Julian. I would be the Julian that is jolly in that title, and the only thing that makes me more jolly than Disney World is you being here with me to enjoy all things magical about the most magical place on Earth. In the next few videos, we're going to talk about the must-rides in each park. And today we're starting with the Dumbo-sized elephant in the room, the park that started it all, the park to end all parks, the Magic Kingdom. Now, whether you're a seasoned pro, a Disney fanatic, a newbie to the wonderful world of Disney, or just a casual fan, this energetic and entertaining tour through the best of the best will have you daydreaming about a magic carpet that will whisk you away instantly to this happy place. A perfect blend of old and new. The Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World truly has something for everyone, even the most persnickety among us. Yes, I'm talking to you. Not you, but you. Well, you know who you are. I suppose I have to start a list like this with one of my favorite attractions ever, and one that was a particular favorite of the great Mr. Disney himself. I am, of course, talking about the Haunted Mansion. Now, this has always been one of the attractions that I just can't get enough of. And after having ridden it probably hundreds of times over the course of my life, there will never be a trip to Disney World where I don't ride this ride. Unless, of course, it's closed for changes. They better not. See, this ride has seen some changes over the years, but to the credit of the powers that be who make these important decisions, they have never changed the overall tone or feel of this ride. That's why the Haunted Mansion remains one of my favorites to this day. Whether it's the wait in line that takes you through a strange and mysterious graveyard, or the famous stretching room, or the mystical and mesmerizing Madame Leota, or the incredible use of the Pepper's Ghost illusion that brings over a dozen merry ghosts to life for a swinging wake, this attraction doesn't live to scare you, it lives to make you want to live there yourself. And thanks to the minds of Walt Disney and his Imagineers, you don't have to be dead to live there, even if you can only live there for about 8 minutes or so during the ride. Now, is this appropriate for all ages? Well, I would think so. But see, I love anything that's just a bit off-kilter and out there. Could this be scary for some of the very wee ones? Perhaps, but probably not. See, this is not a Halloween type of haunted house that is all about jump scares, screams, and gore. This attraction has magically mastered the perfect blend of spooky and quirky and funny and charming. Plus, it has a theme song that is simply to die for. See what I did there? Grim grinning ghosts went out to socialize. I couldn't resist. Truly, the Haunted Mansion is a must-see. Next up, let's get our thrill on. If you like your coasters, there are a few of them here at the Magic Kingdom, but one looms over the rest as the one that is truly out of this world. Now, in all honesty, I've not had the chance to ride the newest of these coasters, Tron Light Cycle Run. If you've ridden it already, please comment on this video and let me know what you thought of it. And know that I am super jelly of you right now, and I might have to ask you to leave. No, I kid, of course, I wouldn't do that. Part of being Jolly Julian is also being jolly about the joy that others have before I even get to have it myself. Nope, I'm not jealous. I'm happy. I'm happy for you. Really. Okay, Julian, get back on track. All right, for adrenaline thrills at the Magic Kingdom, Space Mountain is at the top of that list for me. It's the oldest of their coasters, and it's still my favorite at this park. Tune into a later video for my favorite coaster in all the parks. So, Space Mountain. It's not the fastest coaster in the world. It's not the tallest. It's not the longest. But the in-the-dark nature of it really sets it apart from 99% of all other coasters in the world, or even in space, that we know of. One of the things I love about this attraction so much is the queue line itself. It has a slightly retro science fiction feel to it, and the visuals and the music immediately take you to another time and place. Which is good, because sometimes you can wait a bit for this ride. Now, the ride itself. In the past, I would have said that this can be a good coaster for people who don't really like roller coasters, as it doesn't go all that fast, it doesn't have big drops or anything. However, two things have changed how I would recommend this today. First off, over the years, I don't know if it's actually true or if it's just me getting older, but it definitely feels like this ride has gotten more rickety over time. It's not as smooth as it used to be. which would make sense. This did open in 1975. It's older than it used to be, and yes, so am I. So maybe it's a combination of these two things, but you do get jostled a bit when riding this ride. Nothing major to a coaster junkie like me, but to some, this could be an issue. The second reason I might not recommend this to just anyone is the fact that it is in the dark. Everything about this ride seems heightened because of the lack of being able to see very much. It feels faster than it really is. It feels more chaotic. It's just awesome. But that might not be for everyone either. So take that into consideration before booking your trip into outer space via the Great Space Mountain. The next must for me at Disney World's Magic Kingdom would have to be the Johnny Depp trial ride. Wait, no, that's not what it's called. What's it called? Oh yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. Much like the sad domestic trial between Depp and Amber Heard, this ride showcases Depp making faces, looking surprised, pained, and even hiding behind things to stay out of the action. But here he is, of course, playing the most popular character he's played to date, Jack Sparrow. This attraction is another fantastic example, in my humble opinion, of a ride that has aged well and that has been tweaked over the years in ways that make the ride better without ever detracting from what made it great way back in 1973. As we all know, this ride inspired the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, not the other way around. And after those films came out, and Jack Sparrow was such a wonderful character to watch, the Disney Imagineers thought it was time to update the ride. But in this case, much like the Haunted Mansion, the changes that they made added some lovely little touches without changing the entire experience. Plus, this attraction continues a long history of the Walt Disney theme parks implementing water into their rides. To start your journey, you board an actual boat, much like It's a Small World did for the first time back in the 1960s when Disney was tasked with creating an attraction for the World's Fair, before Walt Disney World or Disneyland were even born. Being on an actual boat, floating in the actual water, gives an authentic and unique feel to the experience. As for the ride itself, it's a glorious collection of scenes of a jolly band of pirates. As jolly as pirates can probably be, it is Disney World after all, as they pillage their way through a seaside town. Plus, much like the Haunted Mansion, this ride has an earworm of a song that you'll find yourself humming for the rest of the day. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Pitch problem there. That's all right. This ride is appropriate for any age, in my humble opinion, especially after some changes were made over the last decade or so, replacing some of the potentially troublesome imagery with more fitting scenes that, in my opinion, don't take anything away from the ride at all. Next up, let's go from one boat-themed ride to another. But this one, I have to admit, I wonder why it's as popular as it is sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, I do really love this attraction, I really do, and it's really cool, but the wait for this ride is almost always well over an hour, if not much more, so a lot of people really do love it. This is a huge draw still to this day, even with this being one of the original rides present when the park opened in 1971. I'm of course talking about the attraction that just oozes pixie dust. The ride that flies to wondrous heights while never leaving the building. An experience that starts with the second star to the right and continues straight on till morning. I'm talking about The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. No, seriously, obviously it's Peter Pan's Flight. On this incredibly popular attraction, you sit in a small pirate ship and depart from the Darling family home through a window and fly over the city of London on your way to Neverland. There you experience many of the adventures from the 1953 Disney film playing out below you. It's wonderful to see a ride based on a film from so many years ago, a film that I'm convinced many of the people who ride the ride every day have probably never actually seen, and have that ride be such a crowd pleaser. I think you can credit the incredibly innovative ride mechanism, way ahead of its time when it was created, and the very colorful palette used to create the scenes from the film for the enduring legacy of this attraction. Now, this video could go on for hours, as I truly do enjoy nearly every attraction at the Magic Kingdom, but this isn't an overview of all the rides, it's the musts. So for the last of the musts at the Magic Kingdom Park, in my humble opinion, I have to showcase one of my mom's favorite rides. Yep, you heard it right. This one is for Jolly Mama. You see, for me, I have so many memories wrapped up in enjoying Walt Disney World with my family. and going there many times as a child and as an adult with my father and mother, I've grown to truly love and appreciate an experience there that I used to feel kind of obligated to ride, and that is the Jungle Cruise. This is a ride my mother just loves, and now I love it too. On the Jungle Cruise, you board a boat, yes, another boat, for a voyage on the Amazon River. What makes this ride truly unique is it's one of the few attractions in all of Walt Disney World where you are guided by an actual human being. Your skipper, the captain of your vessel, not only takes you on this journey, but he or she actually narrates the journey in a very unique way.
That boat on the left is an African gold elephant. Sounds ferocious, right? He's only the second most dangerous animal in the jungle. The most dangerous is up on your right, his mother-in-law! Oh, sorry, Bertha.
This makes the attraction unique and special every time you ride it, as you never know exactly what the different skippers will say. Heck, even the skippers themselves don't always know exactly what they're going to say. It's a bit different for them every time as well. Now, this ride was famously intended to originally be a showcase of real animals when the original Disneyland park opened up in California. But very early in the process, the Imagineers realized that this just wasn't practical, and that it presented a number of unique issues that just wouldn't work at that time. This dream of actual wildlife on display eventually evolved into the Kilimanjaro Safari attraction at the Animal Kingdom, which actually has real animals, and is also one of the other attractions led by an actual person narrating your journey. For the Jungle Cruise, high-tech audio-animatronic animals have taken the place of the real thing, which also oddly adds to the charm of this attraction. By having these animals in unique and often comical situations you could never guarantee with real and unpredictable animals. If you have the chance to ride this ride, do yourself a favor and do it! It's truly one of the most unique experiences you will ever have at the Walt Disney World parks. And, just like the Jungle Cruise, eventually our journey together has to come to an end. And that end is now. So stand up, watch your head and step, and get off the boat. Well, okay, before you do that, if you enjoyed your journey through the musts of the Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom, please take a moment to like this video, to comment on it if you have a favorite attraction that you love that I might have missed, or if you disagree with anything that I shared here. Subscribe to this channel and be sure to hit that bell icon so that you're notified when the next Disney with Jolly Julian video is out there for your amusement or bemusement. And until then, take a tip from Jolly Julian and be your most jolly self. Spread the jolly, make every day a jolly holiday, and always remember that when it comes to all things Disney, it was all started by a mouse. A rather jolly mouse.